country. Good luck to both teams here this afternoon as we celebrate Indigenous Round.
Always a highlight of the AFLW season is Indigenous Round as we celebrate culture, connection and community. Jess Webster with you in commentary this afternoon alongside Ben Waterworth and women's football pioneer Shiloh Curtis. Shiloh, a big hello and welcome to you as we take a look at the Brisbane lineup for today. One change to their side, Dakota Davison is out with concussion, but Dee Heslop returns to the lineup for her first game this season. Of course, missed the entire final series last year with suspension, injured her calf in the pre-season, but she finally gets back into the lineup today, which is good to see.
Well, it's the right time of the year to be fit and firing with the Brisbane line. She's only the 26th player that Brisbane are using this year. We know that Starcevic, the coach, likes to have a consistent cohort. And the only way really to get in the team most of the time is if someone goes out injured.
The two sides are meeting in the middle. Lucy McAvoy, the skipper for Sydney, and Brie Conan from Brisbane, an exchange of gifts and the coin toss, which is won by Lucy McAvoy. And our Amy Reliable player today, Shiloh, is, of course, Ali Anderson, the 30-year-old, debuted way back in round 1, 2017, playing game number 89 today in the competition. She is, of course, the competition's leading games record holder, and she continues to perform at such a high standard.
Yeah, and she's having a terrific season yet again, Jess. The 27 disposals she's averaging, 7 handball receives, so the work rate's phenomenal. The hardness with 6 tackles, 15 contested possessions, 6 clearances, 3 inside 50s and 2 rebound 50s, so she does it at both ends of the ground.
And no doubt we'll be fired up today as Brisbane look to get back on the winners list. For Sydney, this is their lineup tonight. A late change for them. Ruby Sargent-Wilson comes out of the selectors side, replaced by Paige Shepherd. They've lost 4 games this season by 7 points or less and coming off a 4-point loss to Gold Coast. They'll be desperate and hungry to get the 4 points.
Absolutely,
today.
And you think about what the season could have been had they not had the injuries they've had to navigate this year. Of course, co-captain Chloe Malloy out of the side very early in the season, but some really wonderful performers in the team. And very early in the season, but some really wonderful performers in the team. And of course, in the ins list for the Sydney Swans is Laura Gardner, and she's been exceptional for them yet again this season.
She has. She's missed a couple of weeks in recent times after suffering a hand injury. There was some thought that she'd probably get back for the last home and away game of the season for Sydney, but she's come back arguably a week ahead of schedule, and what a huge inclusion she is as well, because we know they've been missing Ali Morford and Chloe Muller. That's 2 out of the 3 All-Australians, and they get Laura Gardner back, who Shiloh is the definition of a ball back.
Yeah, 29 disposals, 12 handball received, so her work rate's phenomenal. And the 3 inside 50s, 4 rebound 50s, 5 clearances, 6 tackles. What a workhorse.
So as Jess mentioned, the second time that these two sides have met, they last met back in round 3 last year, where the Lions put on 87 points at this venue, their second highest score. Have they got another big score in them today? We're about to find out. We're underway from Brighton Homes Arena, and we've already got contact below the knees. It's going to be a Sydney free kick going the way of the captain, Lucy McAvoy, who has really thrived in the sole captaincy responsibility in the absence of Malloy. Hurley gets an early touch and kicks towards half forward. Grider tracking it here for the Lions. Has pressure from Lachlan and illegal pressure from Lachlan. And the All-Australian star can rebound here for Brisbane. Having another terrific season, averaging the 15 touches, 6 intercepts per game. Jen Dunn also having a terrific year as well. Played every game the last couple of years. Interesting handball. And the Swans have done well in the end to force it over the paint, and it'll be tossed back in.
Interesting decision there not to give away, or interesting that it wasn't called holding the ball. She'd had plenty of time, a lot of prior opportunity to get rid of it.
Brisbane, of course, needing to win today to lock in a top 4 spot. The teams continue to jostle for those important ladder positions on the eve of the finals. Here is Gardner back into the lineup today for the Swans. The kick forward has been chopped off by Nat Grider. Kicks it backwards to Conan. Brisbane will look to use the outer side. Kick in front of O'Dwyer. Keeps it alive. Bolts. Takes possession. Postlethwaite, Ellinger, wrapped up by Lachlan. And we're going to have a stoppage. Time now to welcome in the final member of our commentary team this afternoon. She's here, there and everywhere, from Cairns to the Gold Coast to beautiful Brisbane. It's a very big hello to Hannah Davies. Thanks, Jess. Yeah, I've been on the move this week, and it is a lovely afternoon here at Brighton Homes Arena, 25 degrees, and as always, breezy. And it does tend to swirl here at Springfield, which can cause a bit of chaos for either side. So I'll be keeping an eye on these conditions as we go about this afternoon.
Thanks very much, Hannah. A big weekend in the AFLW and a big weekend for Hannah Davies' frequent flyer points as well, going all across Queensland.
That has to be one of the best jobs, to go from Cairns to Gold Coast to Brisbane just watching AFLW.
Some cracking action as well. Maybe we've saved the best till last here in week 9 of the AFLW. Look at this for a matchup. Anderson v Gardner in the middle. Anderson having remarkably a career best season numerically. Continues to rack them up. And the last time these two sides met, Laura Gardner racked up a lazy 41 disposals. Didn't poll an AFLW best and fairest vote. There's an illegal tackle there from Whelan. Conway slung and wasn't too happy with the treatment either. The last time these two sides met, Sophie Conway kicked 3 and had the 3 votes. She'll switch it into the middle. It's a beautiful kick. Anderson receives and they are off. Hickey kicks it deep inside 50. Smith, did she get rid of her opponent illegally? McAvoy gets back and doesn't see it over the line. Goes with the outside of the boot on the rebound towards a genuine one-on-one. Swans trying to link up via hand. Hurley received from Gardner. Hickey interrupts. Kicked off the ground. Comes to Privatelli though. She has it chopped off though by Ellinger. Conan immediately wrapped up though by Cynthia Hamilton, and a stalemate in the middle.
Pressure's going to be important for the Swans today, Shai. Looks like they've brought the intensity early. Hurley out of the middle. Swans work it forward. Great smother on the kick from Dawes. Trying to feed out the hand pass. Kennedy's there for the Swans. Dives on top of it. Umpire circling. Lets it play. Comes out to Gardner. He's wrapped up by a couple of lines.
Expect probably to see Sydney try and be a lot more contested today, particularly in the back half when the Brisbane are just so open and loose and free-flowing.
Clearing kick up to half forward for Sydney. Chopped off by Conan. Down the line to the wing. Hurley. Another touch for her. Ellinger got a hand in there. O'Dwyer bolts. Grider wants to use the middle. Hickey takes the grab. Wants to use the run of Dunn. Is corralled. Over the top for Conway. Continue to work it by hand. The lines to Mullins. Back and board to Conway. Oh, ran into a brick wall, and Hamilton dispossessed. No free kick. That was a crunching tackle.
Always knew it was going to come, Sydney. Just knew they were caught short on the overlap hand pass, and eventually one was going to catch up. Conway, very clever, got the little hand pass away.
Sophie Conway, normally such an elusive player, but Lexi Hamilton didn't let her out of her sights. She might get an opportunity here. There's a jumper hold. It'll come back for a Brisbane free kick, and here is that tackle. Well played, Lexi Hamilton. Could have gone slipped high, but really sort of almost checked the tackle as she brought her opponent to ground. Inside 50, Brenna Tarrant doing what she does best. First intercept mark for her, averages 2.5 intercept marks per game. The Swans defender. A great kick into the middle for McAvoy, and sets up Kennedy rather to Privatelli. Terrific contested mark. Lions have got plenty of numbers back, so no easy kick here, but well spotted. Privatelli out to Smith, back into the side this week for the Swans. Deep inside 50. Davis used her body, couldn't quite grasp it cleanly. Grider is taken down, and it'll be a balled up in a dangerous spot here for the Lions defence.
It's really positive signs there from the Swans, just winning the intercept footy across the back line and then being able to bring it down the ground as they'd like to, using their own style of play.
Hickey taps it down for the Lions. Swans might win out. Flying shot towards goal from Hamilton. Conan under pressure. Wrapped up for Vitelli and Smith, and we'll have another ball up. Close to the goal line for Sydney. Searching for the first score of the afternoon. Hickey comes away with it to Kathy Spark, who takes off and uses her pace. Needs to get rid of it. Dawes, the hand pass just a little too hot for her. Spark kept running through a boot at it and missed completely. Mullins picks it up backwards to Anderson. O'Dwyer. The Lions can clear the danger zone. Ball to be won on the wing. Lovely collect from Smith. A long way from home. Searching kick into the corridor. It's going to bounce and get past Postlewaite. And the Swans can reload and send it up towards the arc again to a one-on-one. Dunn tries to paddle it to her own advantage and then wants to take off. Has a bounce, takes on Grundon. Navas though, probably not quite what she would have intended, and now we've got a ball up on the wing.
You can already see what Brisbane want to do across the half-back line. They want to get the ball moving nice and quickly.
Ball up favoured Davis, so it comes to Kennedy. Both teams trying to use the corridor as much as possible, but that is being turned over and the lines are off, and good luck trying to catch Ruby Spark. Doesn't take a bounce, instead goes long, and Tarrant with a second intercept mark early.
How good is Brenna Tarrant? I think just so underrated and not spoken about enough, just ever reliable across that back line, gives up so much height.
Is she in All-Australian conversations, Shiloh? Or maybe in All-Australian squad conversations?
I think certainly in the conversation, rarely misses a beat, rarely gives up the footy, often wins what she probably shouldn't win, reads the play so beautifully.
Good ball movement here from Sydney. Lachlan's worked it out to Privatelli, who calls for calm. Privatelli and Lachlan so important in that tough first inaugural season for the Swans and continue to be important players. Dropped there by Taylor Smith allows the Swans with a second chance here. Whelan inside 50 with the kick. Bella Smith read it really well at the back, runs onto it and kicks the first goal of the game. Great start, Sydney.
Well, that all started with the work of Brenna Tarrant deep in defence, being able to just read the play beautifully as the ball came in, and then just Sydney being able to just use the ball on their own terms. I really love the fact they're not playing reactive footy, just using their own game style, looking for the loose player on the outside, numbers through the corridor there to be able to win the footy, and then just reading it much, much better across the back line there. Forward line, was Smith, and then to be able to finish beautifully. Great start for the Swans.
Our Chemist Warehouse goal replay, Bella Smith.
Just the fourth game this season for Bella Smith. She's been emergency 4 times as well. And out of the side, but she gets an early goal here and gets Sydney off to the perfect start at Springfield.
Swans are travelling at +6 on the contested possession count, so they're really going to make Brisbane earn every footy.
Mullins outside of the boot towards half forward for the Lions. Bouncing footy in front of Campbell, who looks like she's playing up forward today. Of course, no Dakota Davidson for Brisbane. O'Dwyer keeps it alive. A hurry kick around the corner. The Swans are well set. Can send it to the wing. To a big pack. What is fly everywhere? Dwyer laying a tackle, and that ball's out of play, and we're going to have it tossed back in. So Brisbane dropping a game last week against Geelong by 10 points. Before that, they'd won a equal club record 7 in a row. And could prove costly in their race towards the top 4 spot. They need to win today to get the double chance. From the stoppage, Hartle hand to it. Hamilton sends it forward. Bolts. There's a couple to beat. Swooping in Grider. The Lions can link up at half-back. Here's Postlethwaite. Sends it to the outer side. It's a nice kick too. Ruby Spark pokes it to half forward. Here's Taylor Smith. Just good separation there. Able to take the mark at Ty's point. Not too much pressure at the moment. A couple of kicks from goal. And now on a good race for the leading goal kicker award too, after Ash Maloney kicking 6 for Geelong this weekend. Bombs it to a pack inside 50 again. Brenna Tarrant, outstanding.
Big start for the defender of the Sydney Swans. Disposal number 5 coming up off the 3rd intercept mark. Cynthia Hamilton. Spreads it wide. Heads has got a task to keep it in, but she did well. Hugging the line, sending it along the wing. Shepherd had herself bumped with the ball, and a big moment there for Heslop. Great first win for her in her return game. Linking up with Bolts and now Mullins. Outside of the boot, might have been touched off the boot. No, it hasn't been. Whelan takes a good intercept mark. So the Swans looking strong across half-back. Not a lot of deep entries early for the Brisbane Lions.
Inside 50 count. 5-3 going Brisbane's way, but as you said, Ben, not a lot of deep entry.
And they can have an inside 50 themselves here, Sydney. Lachlan's kick was perfectly weighted to Bella Smith, who has started well. First goal of the game, and now can have the inside 50 with a thumping left foot kick. It's going to bounce into the lap of Ellinger, who will rebound and kick it out of danger only momentarily. Bella Smith there again with Privatelli. Kennedy comes through as well. Privatelli trying to lock it in there. Bolts did well, emerges and kicks it away.
Great composure there by the Lions under so much pressure.
Ruby Spark at centre half back. Kicks laterally into the path of Mullins. 5 minutes to go in this arm wrestle of an opening quarter. Sydney with the only goal of the game so far through Bella Smith. And Sinead Davidson pokes it down the line. Ruby Spark couldn't complete the mark. He's back to Davidson, wants to give it back to Spark. They're under pressure here, the Lions. Conway had a fumble and it goes out of play. Sydney bringing the intensity early. In fact, it's going to be a last touch rule. We're going to have a chat about it.
Charlo called last touch.
It ricocheted off the leg of Sophie Conway at the last minute. It wasn't an intentional kick, but it did come off the boot of Conway. Umpires maybe trying to work out what the rule is in that context. Is it a rushed, a boundary throw-in, or is it a lasso? Decided it's rushed.
So a bit of confusion, but we're going to have a toss back in right in front of the interchange gates.
A nice healthy discussion between the boundary umpire and the field umpire there. Look at the wind take that to the right of screen. Hartle up against Davis. Davis on the second bite won it down. Whelan to Gardner. Terrific elusive play there from Laura Gardner towards half forward. Well played by Grundon. Hurley waiting at ground level and then brought Ellinger to ground. Sophia Hurley having a terrific season for the Swans, averaging the 20 touches and 4 clearances and 7 tackles. She has stood up in the absence of a couple of Swan stars. Gardner tackled over the line by Dawes.
We talk about Sophia Hurley, Ben, 8 contested possessions a game, 5 inside 50s and 3 rebound 50s. That's the work rate of Sophia Hurley. You talk about all Australian conversations. She has to be in that conversation, I think, given her numbers.
On the ball in, Hurley taps it forward. Shepherd to Davis. Gardner, tackled by Anderson, just got boot to ball. Hartle underneath it. It's defeated out to Kathy Spark. It's locked in a battle with O'Sullivan. And holding the ball is the decision. Free kick going the way of Sydney.
Well, they did really well there, Sydney. So the Lions player went to ground first, tried to turn over and put the ball underneath a Sydney player. But they managed to keep the ball locked in.
Sullivan to Hamilton, who bangs it forward for Sydney. No one there. Grider will keep it alive, close to the line. And pass though. He's going to be chopped off by Ham. Smothered off the boot. Lachlan, Hamilton. Now it's come unstuck. Hodder looking for Campbell. All pinballing around here. Gardner. He's tackled by O'Dwyer, and the umpire calls for it.
And Scott Gowans will be pretty happy with what he's seeing so far, Shiloh.
Yeah, I think probably they're executing their game plan really well. Just certainly when it goes defensively, just making sure there's lots of contested ball. I know that's an area of their game. If they get that right, they're in the game completely.
Great soccer off the ground from Hurley. Sets up Bella Smith, who handballs went right into the corridor here. Grundon trying to run onto it. Shepherd there as well. Heslop just gets rid of it, or did she? Brisbane are going to be paid the free kick here, and Ellinger off and running with a couple of bounces through the middle of Brighton Homes Arena. Bumped as she kicked. Good pressure again from the Swans, and they're outnumbering well at the contest at the moment. Kathy Spark arrives, though, to lend support, and they are on out the back. Kathy Spark to Ruby Spark. A player on over the top, and it's in reliable hands with their leading goal kicker. One for Bella Smith, and now one for Taylor Smith.
Well, that's just the firepower of the Brisbane Lions. They saw the moment, they got the free kick in defence, and through Ellinger just seized the moment, was able to get the ball moving nice and quickly while the Sydney Swans were still trying to work out what was going on. They responded so quickly. They were able to bring the ball through the middle, create the overlap, create the number, and in the end they were able to draw up the deepest Swans defender. Taylor Smith was able to take the ball uncontested. She finished fantastically.
So Taylor Smith is on the board for Brisbane. They get their first goal of the game inside the last 2 minutes of the opening quarter. Sydney have been terrific so far. Just the second time these two sides have met in the competition. The first time they met last year, round 3, 2023. Brisbane hadn't won at Springfield up until that point, after losing the season 7 grand final in their opening game of 2023 at home. Conway has turned it straight over to Ham. Not her best kick. Directs the pass out to the wing, to the path. Cynthia Hamilton, a hand pass, just a little bit too much on it for Steen. And it dribbles out of play. It's going to be a last touch rule and a free kick to Brisbane with a minute 21 on the clock. Dee Heslop, as we mentioned off the top, with ball in hand. First game of the season for Dee. Back into the lineup today after battling a calf injury in the pre-season and the opening rounds of 2024. Brought to ground by Tarrant, picked up by Conway, and she's wrapped up by Tarrant.
It's these last 2 minutes of every quarter against the top 4 teams, where teams that are playing them are really, I guess, in a lot of trouble because the fatigue starts to play out. You've got players rotating on the bench. Sometimes you get caught out in terms of player depth, and the better teams in the competition like Brisbane will spank you in the last 2 minutes of each quarter.
Campbell might have just been Falcon there as she attempted the mark. She gets a second crack at it and puts it inside 50 towards the advantage of a teammate. Lovely turn from Kathy Spark. The handball was perfect. But Taylor Smith, who just missed her left boot. Good defensive pressure from McCarthy on that occasion. That might be a high free kick going the way of Kathy Spark. And she can have a look at the goals on the snap for the right footer.
Oh, a couple of Swans there, not communicating very well. Talk about fatigue in the last minute of a quarter or so. Start to not have that kind of connection. Little hand pass underneath.
Such a consistent player for the Brisbane Lions. In the last 5 seasons, finishing the top 10 of the best and fairest every year. You've got a really good look at it here from Brighton Homes Arena. Goes the drop punt, stuff the snap, go the drop punt. When he can kick it like that, Kathy Spark. Pinpoint precision, right side for a right footer, but made it look easy, Shiloh.
Well, 3 points, 3 votes to our camera team for that. That was sensational to watch off the boot, wasn't it? If you're a fan of the game, you love having that kind of vision, and if you're a fan of the game, you love watching Kathy Spark as well. Gee, she's a beautiful footballer, and she can do the damage on the run, the burst, the contested work, but she can also just slot a beautiful set shot just like that. Fantastic football there from Kathy Spark in that red time there. Last minute, the last 30 seconds of the quarter. And the Swans will be disappointed with how they finished out this first quarter after a really good start in this game.
Yeah, they've owned most of the first quarter, haven't they, Shai? Really brought their tackling pressure and contested game so far. But it's Brisbane who lead by 6 points on the scoreboard. A few seconds to go before quarter time. But a great start to this contest in beautiful sunshine at Springfield. Dawes comes bursting through. Is there time? Conway, although Gardner got a hand in there, and the siren might be Brisbane here. And Hickey almost thought about having a flying shot on the run, but at quarter time at Brighton Homes Arena, it is the defending premier, 2 straight 12, leading the Sydney Swans 1 straight 6. signalled last touch.
Davis just limps off. So she'll be checked out down in the boundary.
Hopefully for the Swans, that's just a stinger.
Yeah, because we know that they're already missing Ali Morfitt, their All-Australian ruck. Davis, such a prodigious young talent as well. Lexi Hamilton has been doing most of the ruck work. Probably, if judging by those scenes, at the worst thing that Bella Smith's back in the side. This week she might be able to help out Lexi Hamilton in the ruck. Let's look at the replay. Oh, nasty roll of the ankle there on the left foot.
They hurt, those ones. Very uncomfortable.
One of 3 Davis sisters in the AFLW, a 4th not too far away. I reckon Georgia Davis is coming through the ranks, might be the best. That's a huge hit there on heads. Mullins went low.
And the field umpire was blindsided, so the umpire downfield actually signalled the head contact.
Let's have a look on replay. She has been rewarded with a free kick. That will be an interesting one for the MRO to look at.
Heads down the line, flirts with the boundary, but it's marked by Bella Smith.
It's the first time the Swans have gone forward to the centre half.
The first inside 50 of the quarter coming up. Privatelli in the contest. Gets out the back. Conan to Anderson. Brisbane can repel. It's down the line, but Sydney are well set. That's a lovely mark by Mitchell. Goes backwards to McAvoy. You just need to have some time in possession here, the Swans. McAvoy kicks long to a contest. Over the top, Hickey. Fisted it down, Kennedy over it. Shepherd, the late inclusion. Hand pass stolen by Postlethwaite is brought to ground by Kennedy. One of 6 players, Kennedy, to have played every game this year. It's been a really solid contributor. 15 players, though, for Brisbane have played every game in 2024.
Bankable team, the Lions, particularly at match committee. Hodder, nice steps shown on that occasion. Handball to Davison. Linking up with Conway. A nice take there from Hartle to Ruby Spark. Back to Hartle in game 25 today. Davison, the 2 ex-Eagles, linking up superbly. How about this build-up from the Lions? Taylor Smith, eyes light up, the kick. Well, caught in 2 minds in the end. McCarthy went the double fist. Could have marked it in the end. And O'Dwyer wanted insufficient intent. McCarthy sees it over the line.
Take the mark. Take the mark. You got front spot. You're the defender. Take the mark.
7 inside 50s to 1 in favour of Craig Starcevic's side this quarter. Lexi Hamilton against Hartle. Hamilton in front. Tackle applied there on Kennedy. Hurried kick out from the Swans. Lions trying to lock it inside their forward half here. Conan receives, but it's pinched by Hurley. And then with authority, trying to get past Conan, but just as authoritative was the Brisbane captain with her tackle.
Yeah, you got to be good to give it. Don't argue on Bree Conan.
Kicks it to a dangerous position inside forward 50 off hands. Shepherd comes through for the Swans. McCarthy squeezes the kick forward. Hurley. Looping hand pass. Broken up by Conan. Dawes is also there. Ham and Privatelli lock it up. Let's take another look at the fend off and then the tackle from Bree Conan against the young gun, Sophia Hurley. Hodder on her hands and knees, feeds it out to Postlethwaite. Tries to get around the tackler. And passes a turnover. Tumbling kick down the wing. Lovely collect from Smith. Unsure where to go. Has to swing a hand pass out to Ham. Pokes it down the line. Just had a little bit too much on it for Privatelli and it goes out of play.
Dunn cheekily tries to claim the last touch free kick, but Privatelli did get hands to it. So it'll be tossed back in. 10-point lead here for Brisbane. 6 scoring shots to 1. Mullins leading ball winner for Brisbane. Bruce Gardner has 11 for Sydney. Harder looking good in the ruck in this game. Conway v Hurley. And how about the cleanliness of Sophia Hurley at ground level? Beautiful to watch. Short to Ham. How about those two linking up? And then Ham with a spearing kick to McCarthy on the lead. Great ball movement here from Sydney. Set up by their 2 young guns. Inside 50. Kick was a wobble off the boot. Bolts meets it first. Linking up with Heslop. Checks the kick. bounces perfectly for Conway, who keeps it in, then got dealt with afterwards. Handball was to the advantage of Anderson, and they've worked it out nicely here to O'Dwyer.
Still no goal kicked in this second term. 4 behinds in the opening 5 minutes to Brisbane. Do they get an opportunity here? Long had a fumble. Sydney work it forward, but have turned it over to Conway. Player on in the corridor, goes to her, and it's Ellinger. He can mark and take off, or is it Bolts? It is Ellinger. Continues to use the outer side to Jen Dunn. He marks and takes off, has a bounce. Kick inside 50. Bounces in front of Campbell, who collects beautifully, just gets boot to ball towards full forward. Coming through Long, gives it to Mullins, and he's set upon immediately. We've got a stoppage 15 metres out from the Lions' goal.
I'm going to spot here for the Swans defence, who've held up pretty well so far in this game, but you know the Lions are relentless. A whistle for a hold, and here comes the Lions' opportunity to hit the scoreboard, and Ruby Spark is in a very good position.
And that's just a pressure and fatigue error there and the congestion. It's been a hotly contested quarter, of course, no goals scored, therefore no sort of stoppage time really to think of. And in those moments, you can lose your I guess, positioning, mentally start to fatigue, and you make these silly little errors in front of goal, and the oppo gets a shot on.
Game number 39 in the AFLW, getting better with every game that she plays. Makes no mistake from directly in front.
Well, yet another Brisbane goal late in the quarter. Sydney have done a lot of work in the first part of these 2 opening quarters to keep the Lions at bay, but it's just their work late in the quarter, just giving Brisbane opportunities deep in front of goal, and the Lions have made them pay. They've been absolutely outstanding, weathering the storm, weathering the contested work of the Swans, the tackling pressure, and they're just always able to find a way. I guess that's why they've been so at the top of the ladder for so long.
So Ruby Spark, following her sister Kathy, kicked a goal in the opening quarters. You take a look at Giselle Davis on the Sydney bench, came off early that quarter with a ankle complaint and doesn't look to be moving really freely at the moment, but hopefully we'll see her back in action today. So Brisbane extend their lead to 16 points. Got a whistle in the middle, looking for a 6-6-6 starting position infringement or warning. Out of the middle, Sydney through Gardner and passes it forward. Kennedy bumped Anderson off the footy. And get it back here, Kennedy. And off to Gardner. To half forward. Well read by Bree Conan. Kicks it inboard for Grider. To Conway. They share it around half back, the Lions. Less than 4 minutes to go in the opening half. After Sydney kicked the opening goal of the game, it's been all Brisbane. Search and kick to the wing. Mullins can run onto this, but she has Hurley for company. And wants to take her on. Wheels around. Has a bounce. Sends Brisbane inside forward 50, and their players out the back. A few options, and one of them is Shannon Campbell.
Well, there's a couple of examples of the Brisbane Lions just reading the wind so much better than the Sydney Swans. The first was the exit kick high up on the wing. They just read that better and were able to get the numbers at the fall of the footy. And then that time, there were 3 Swans within the vicinity of that marking opportunity. But they're all in front. And the Brisbane Lions sat behind it with Shannon Campbell, who read it so beautifully.
She kicked Brisbane's first ever goal in the AFLW competition, but has since made her name as a key defender, playing up forward in the absence of Dakota Davidson. And she's still got it, Shannon Campbell in front of the sticks.
Well, sometimes you see defenders switched forward, and they sometimes, it's such a really clever move because they spend so much of their career as defenders just reading the game further upfield and having to really anticipate how the ball is going to come in. And the move of Campbell up forward is just it's a brilliant one. Finding yet another forward, of course, Dakota Davidson out. Her role today is super important, and she just showed then you're reading it better than the opposition. Fantastic work.
It is such a great move for Craig Starcevich to be able to make using Shannon Campbell. She moved forward late in a final last year and kicked the goal. Was it against Geelong in the prelim?
Yep.
To essentially send them into a grand final. So she is a player, Shannon Campbell. She can get it done in defence, but she also knows how to get it done up forward as well.
She did. Got it done in defence on this ground against Melbourne a couple of years ago, not in the winning cause, but on best on ground medal. How about the clearance there from Gardner to Lachlan on the left? Heslop getting back. First game since round 10 last year. D. Heslop suspended for tackling Ree Watt late last year, and then, as Jess mentioned, some injury problems at the start of this year, which has delayed her return back to the AFLW field. They moved the ball so well out of defence, and Charlie Mullen's having a big game for Brisbane, and they are off. Starting to really expose the Swans on the outside. Ruby Spark ran into trouble, but had Grider there for support. Chips the kick over the top, and in the end, over the head of Campbell. O'Sullivan back into the side this week. Interesting hand pass. An illegal one. So it's going to be coming back here to the lines, who can attack the Swans' defence again. Campbell thinking about the switch. Now called to play on. Puts it into the corridor of goal here. Hodder from behind. Big fly. Anderson down low. One-on-one with Kennedy. Got rid of Kennedy. And the Swans happy to see it in neutral territories. Maddie Collier sees it over the line. Got a nasty knock. Maddie Collier earlier this quarter. She's back out there for Sydney.
Brisbane 11 inside 50s to 3 for Sydney this quarter.
All back to play deep inside. Brisbane's forward 50. Evie Long laying a tackle. Locks things up.
And for all the forward half dominance of Brisbane Lions, it's Bree Conan who's leading the disposals in this quarter.
Taylor Smith takes it out of the ruck. Just gets boot to ball. Campbell in the pack. Sydney defence under pressure. Smith pushes off. Smith gives it off to Ruby Spark. Flying shot towards goal. Slams into the post. All Brisbane this quarter. 2 goals, 5-0.
Ellie Anderson, a little bit slow to get up there.
Yeah.
She's hobbling off camera. Keep an eye on that one.
Just at the top of your screen there in the yellow boots. To half forward. We'll keep our eyes on the star line. Less than a minute left. In the second quarter, Swans yet to score and get the first goal of the game. It's been all Brisbane scoreboard-wise since. Dawes is relentless. Beautiful hand pass back to O'Dwyer, who kicks inside 50 and landed in the lap of Kathy Spark.
How?
I've got no idea. But she was in the right place at the right time. And the Sparks are doing a lot of damage forward of centre today.
She came from nowhere. She was 3 deep in that. It just landed in her lap. She's so strong.
Nasty knock under the eye from Kathy Spark. Will kick to the top of the goal square. Big pack forms. Hodder! You are kidding! Almost get off the ground for a special goal. It hits the upright in the end.
She's got so much talent, Courtney Hodder, and you just cannot give her any space at all.
She had barely any space there. Almost nothing.
She's so good.
So heads called to play on from the kick in as the seconds tick down towards half time to a contest. Conan in the pack, couple of bites at it, couldn't come down with it, and Dawes is wrapped up on the half-time siren after a second quarter that was dominated by the home side. Brisbane kicked 2 goals, 6-0 in that second quarter to take a healthy 24-point lead into the main break. 4-6-30 to Sydney, 1 straight 6. The Swans' goal came in the opening quarter. It was the opening score of the game to Bella Smith, but it's been all Brisbane since then. They extend their 6-point lead at quarter time to 24 at the main break. As Charlotte touched on throughout the second quarter, the key disposal winners for Brisbane, Mullins, Conway and Ruby Spark, all on 10 disposals each. And for the Swans, Laura Gardner back into the lineup today, such an important player for Sydney. She's up to 13 already in that opening quarter. Ella Heads with 10 as well. Let's go down to ground level. Hannah Davies is with Ali Anderson.
Ellie, the scoreline might not reflect it as much, but Sydney have certainly come to play. It looks physical to us. How is it feeling out there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they were up in pressure then, so we just tried to do what we could in the back end of that to lift our pressure. But yeah, no, like, you know, we knew that they were going to come out and give it everything they've got, and I think we've responded pretty well in the last little bit there, so we just got to build on that.
And speaking of responding, you know, last week a bit of disappointing result. Were there conversations throughout the week? What happened?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's like some, you know, conversation structurally and just, you know, just one of those games. So obviously we wanted to come into this week and really redeem ourselves. So yeah, we'll just keep fighting.
Thanks for your time, Ellie.
Thank you.
So halftime here at Springfield, it is Brisbane by 24 points. A big second half to come. We'll break it all down for you after the break. Full letter to self from two-time premiership player Courtney Hodder as AFLW Indigenous round continues here at Springfield, and at halftime it is Brisbane by 24 points over the Sydney Swans. Jess Webster and Shiloh Curtis with you as we break it all down. Shiloh, for our Chemist Warehouse halftime highlights. Sydney kicked the opening goal of the game. They brought the heat early, but Brisbane really kicked into gear after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a pressure game, Jess, and what Sydney started, Brisbane have finished with, and when they realised the way in which Sydney was going to play, Brisbane went, rightio, let's up the ante. And every time Sydney goes near the ball, there are a number of lines, and they just pressure them, pressure. Sydney have fumbled the footy far too much, and their clean use of the ball just hasn't been there today. And conversely for the Lions, they've had it all their own way, including Kathy Spark with that wonderful set shot on goal. Just fantastic. But for context, Jess, marking the ball for the Swans has been an issue. They had 5 marks that quarter. So every time they get the ball, they're under pressure. So their disposal has been hurried, it's been rushed. Whereas Brisbane, they had so many more marks that quarter. They had 20 marks, in fact. They're able to control the game, put it on their own terms, and they hit the scoreboard easily.
And the Lions trying to bounce back from a 10-point loss to Geelong last week. No Dakota Davidson up forward for Brisbane today, but they've got 4 individual goal kickers to half-time. The Spark sisters are putting on a show. They've combined for 19 disposals and 2 goals to half-time. Our Medibank mind-blowing moment from the first half is this ripper of a set shot from Kathy Spark. Who needs to snap the footy, Shiloh, when you can kick it like this from the pocket?
Absolutely not. Look at that. That is just precision football. Just so calm, composed, backed herself in, didn't overkick it, did what she needed to do, and the camera people did what they needed to do so that we could all enjoy it. Fantastic work.
Absolutely. So Brisbane at halftime receiving some of their key messages. A big second half for them to come as they try to lock in a top 4 spot as we head towards the 2024 AFLW finals. Don't go anywhere. We've got a big second half to come after the break. control by 24 points over Sydney, with the second half to come shortly. But let's check in downstairs with Hannah Davies as the AFLW celebrates Indigenous Round. What can you tell us about the special shirt you're holding, Hannah?
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, well, I'm down here at ground level with the limited edition t-shirt. It's a collaboration between Brisbane Lions player Courtney Hodder and the Northern Territory label House of Darwin. And it's a fantastic design, as you can see below. And it celebrates not only Courtney's cultural heritage, but also some of her individual quirks. It's got her signature scrunchie and also the crown, which is the Sass Queen link there. Lions fans will know all about that one. And, you know, Indigenous Round really does celebrate and acknowledge the contribution of Indigenous people to the game of Aussie rules. And so it's been fantastic to have this shirt on display all around.
Thanks very much, Hannah. Beautifully said. And we almost saw a terrific highlight from Courtney Hodder just before the halftime siren. She's in at the centre bounce and winning the clearance here and giving it to Anderson and kicking it inside 50 to start this third quarter. Dawes went off the ground twice. Couldn't quite connect the second time. Postlethwaite had a busy game so far. Lovely pick up from Hurley. Retreated to Collier and then to McAvoy. A hand in there from Postlethwaite. McAvoy has a second crack. Whelan, Gardner, in the middle. Going back with courage, Grider. Brings the ball to ground. This Brisbane defence who know each other so well. Link up so well. They do it again. Spearing kick from Grider to Postlethwaite. Grider kept on running. Disposal number 13 coming up for the dual All-Australian. Pretty congested forward line, as you can see. Kicks inside 50 and Mitchell had the read.
Mitchell short to McAvoy. Putting together another strong afternoon for the Swans. To be her 11th disposal. Sends it down the line to a contest. Through Dawes, couldn't take the footy with her. Picked up by Hickey. Grider on the left. Murray kicked to half forward and McAvoy in best position for the Swans. Plays such an important role, not only what she brings on the field, but her leadership as well. She's really grown into that role for the Swans. Such an important player for them. And still so young as well. Brisbane in the middle. O'Dwyer pokes the kick up towards half forward in front of Postlethwaite. Tackled immediately and brought to ground as we head downstairs to Hannah Davies.
Thanks, Jess. I've got confirmation that Giselle Davis is ruled out for the game with that ankle injury.
It's a big loss, isn't it, for Sydney? Thanks, Hannah.
And their ruck, number 2 ruck along with Lexi Hamilton. Now that they're already missing Ali Moore for the Swans. Early with the 1-2. Ryder again, standing in the hole. Links up with Ellinger. They use the switch so effectively. O'Dwyer to Dunn. It's a player on over the top via hand and uses her now. It's Mullins. Dunn was dealt with after she distributed the ball. And Campbell thought about going back to Mullins via hand. Instead, Campbell goes with the kick towards Kathy Spark. Whelan on her tail. Campbell might have a second crack here. Well played by Whelan. And almost won the ball back cleanly. At least able to force the stoppage.
I'm just seeing that, you know, probably the first couple of passages of play from the Lions. It's just so, they work so hard to create the outnumber, to create the separation for themselves.
Spark just able to get the hand pass away. Anderson was held illegally. Kennedy's a little sore there at the end as well. Whelan also down. Keep your eyes on that. Kathy Spark also going down a little slow to get to her feet. Will happen in a short space of time here. Kennedy came through. One look into Anderson. Courtesy of Dawes. He's going everywhere. Kennedy's just being helped from her feet now.
And Spark, really ginger. She's gotten up as well. She's limping in the hands of the trainer.
So they might have collided before.
Yeah.
She fell over the top of Anderson. So Kathy Spark just limping in hands. She's going to stay out there for the moment, or is she a trainer nearby? She see her in the middle of the screen, just trying to jog towards the bench. And Anderson got a free kick for a hold and chips in board to Hickey. Not sure where to go initially. Out wide for Dunn. Sends it inside 50 for Brisbane. We have Courtney Hodder. Campbell out the back. Mullins, aggressive tackle into the turf. We've got a ball up. Sullivan over the top, back into the side today for the Swans. And stoppage, Postlethwaite just got a handball out to Anderson. Got rid of it. Hodder lurking, has a few Swans to beat. O'Dwyer has coughed it straight up to Steen. Hacks it out of the danger zone for Sydney. It's a lovely mark by Privatelli, a long way from home.
And the kick from Privatelli was well weighted to Hurley, who thought about taking on Ruby Spark, went laterally instead, and then the kick, well, again, the Lions so well set up behind the footy. Dunn to Conan, the kick to Bolts. Dunn and Bolts have been integral members of this Brisbane side since essentially cementing their spot in the Brisbane 21 last year. Kick up towards the middle here. Bounce was perfect for Ellinger. She was immediately brought down as Conan in support. Just look like they have so much time on their hands at the moment, the Lions. Way short. Taken in the middle. And Hodder receives to Ellinger. Now Anderson. Promising build up here. The hand pass is in the direction of Conway. Her eyes light up, hoping for Smith. She was trying to kick for goal on the end. And Mitchell takes another good intercept mark.
That's an excellent mark under so much pressure.
Maddie Collier in the back pocket for the Swans. Oh, that kick flirting with the boundary line. It's out of bounds on the full, so Brisbane can reload here. Threatening to blow this game open. They led by 6 points at quarter time. 24 at half time. Conway short. Postlethwaite. Ball checking there by the Swans. Pretty crowded forward 50. Postlethwaite centres the kick into the corridor. Smith almost just couldn't complete the mark at the last moment. Mullins laying a tackle. Coming through was Whelan. And now Heads can take off. Oh, that kick off the outside of the boot. Disappointed with that, and it'll be another free kick to Brisbane.
Oh, you hate that when the ball comes off your boot like that.
Knew straight away.
Wind playing all sorts of havoc out there today, and of course, just the distance between leaving your hand and hitting your boot. Sometimes a wind can just put the ball on the wrong spot.
Postlethwaite with the inside 50. Taylor Smith was there, as was Ruby Spark, who read it superbly. There's a whistle on the play. It's going to be coming back. It was for a hold. It's going to be a Lions free kick and a set shot at goal coming up. There's a look on replay. Just a slight jumper tug there from Sophia Hurley. It's the jumper is tugged. The umpire sees it. It's an automatic free kick.
And again, just a pressure error there. The Lions have just been so dangerous. It's been a day where you feel like anything could happen in their forward line, and you do that in the first half. The second half, the game starts to get played in the heads of defenders. They start making silly little errors like that.
Become a goal kicker in recent years, Ruby Spark, but she's never kicked 2 goals in a game. Still, 11 scoring shots rather to Sydney's 1. It could be a much more significant margin in favour of the Lions. The Swans still hanging around. Just.
McAvoy from the kick in. Privatelli, lovely mark over Bolts. Long outstretched arms. It's got to be 50. So here's an opportunity for Sydney.
That was a really interesting decision. Not quite sure what that was for. Privatelli got 2 hands on the footy.
It was knocked by the Brisbane player afterwards, but it was pretty close to the mark.
Privatelli, Ellinger made her way to the front of the contest. Here's Hickey. Keep looking for Long and a wrestle with Heads. Free kick for a hold. And so this is the 50. So Privatelli marks and, just knocked out of her hand by Bolts. Free kick to Ella Heads here. A couple of kicks from goal. Kick it long to a pack. Privatelli against Bolts. Shepherd comes through. Ball spills loose. Heslop brought to ground by Privatelli. Umpire calls for it.
8.5 to play in the third. Swans just hanging in there. Shepherd just a little proppy on that left knee. Might pick up a possession here, but won't be allowed to. It's going to be a ruck infringement free kick going the way of Hickey. Athletic ruck as well. Kick into the middle was risky. Swans can pounce here. Ellinger taken high on the calf.
Those free kicks really kill you if you're a midfield player, because all the work that's been done to get from the ball from defence into the forward 50, and the ball just turned over so easily inside your forward 50.
I heard Scott Gowans, particularly at quarter time when we were able to listen in, talking about staying disciplined, giving away free kicks.
It's a piece around not only respecting the possession you've got, but respecting the work that's been done upfield to give the opportunity further up the field. And you've got to sort of honour the work that's been done before you get to the contest.
So that was a kick off the ground there from Hartle, so it means that Sydney will have the last touch free kick here. Whelan at half back. Goes with a low dart. It's well executed to Lexi Hamilton, who hit the ground running. And kicks towards half forward. Open forward 50 here. Ellinger met it first. Played by Grundon to force a stoppage. It's left in the third quarter. And the Brisbane Lions AFL Premiership coach Chris Fagan watching on.
Enjoying some Sunday afternoon footy in Springers.
And of course, why wouldn't you be when the McClellan Trophy, the $1 million is on the line? You're doing everything you can to will your women over the line.
Could Brisbane hold both the AFL and AFLW Premiership Cups by the end of the year? Heads, Ellinger, swoops, kick over the head of O'Dwyer. Dribbles out of play. And Dakota Davidson as well, of course, missing today with concussion. Lions fans would love to see her back. There she is, just saying hello to us. Enjoying the footy from the stands here at Brighton Homes Arena.
Might have been a goal celebration from her up there.
Vicky takes it out of the ruck. Over to O'Dwyer to get around Hamilton. Bouncing footy down the line. Hartle out to meet it. Gives it to Davidson. Inboard for Anderson. Back to O'Dwyer. On the left. Delivers to half forward. Might open up here for Brisbane if Long can run onto it. Just paddles it forward. Gets the handball out. Looking for Spark, but well done by the Sydney defence. That kick though is going to wobble to the boundary line, and it's going to be a free kick to Brisbane.
Again there though, they had the +1, they had the outnumber then in the defensive 50, but just a bomb kick, just trying to hurry kick out of space.
Mullins towards Taylor Smith. Great gather here by Hartle. Just got a hand pass away. A dinky kick there from Sophia Hurley. Mullins brought down. Now Davison forces a forward 50 stoppage here. Sinead Davison, the former Eagle. Bree Brock, head of women's footy at the Lions, said that Davison was someone we've identified fits our game style to a T. So she missed a fair chunk of the season so far through injury. Pretty handy addition for the Brisbane Lions. It's a handy tackle from Conway. Wins the free kick for holding the ball.
And again, a fumble there by Privatelli, some of the cleanest hands in the business. So you get that gives you a picture of how much pressure the Swans are under today.
Conway again towards a big pack. Taylor Smith got hands to the footy. Long was not penalised for the throw. Anderson sweeps to O'Dwyer, who wants her left side, gets her left side, but can't get the goal.
4 goals, 8 now for Brisbane. Charlotte Curtis. Brisbane leads the competition in behinds. We know they score heavily, and that's part of the reason for that. But is accuracy an issue for them this year?
Well, potentially, Jess, I think where accuracy will become an issue for them are in the tighter matches they're going to have to play in finals. And as we saw, every season, a number of the finals matches are often decided by less than a goal. Of course, they lost the first couple of AFL premierships just off a single goal. So you want accuracy to not be an issue in your game.
Kennedy's kick into the middle, chopped off by Dunn. Over the head of O'Dwyer. At the back is Long. Stripped to the footy by Steen, and he's going to get rewarded.
Brisbane Lions are 14th in the competition for scoring accuracy.
certainly something that they'll look to fine-tune in the last couple of weeks. They finish their regular season off against St Kilda next week. Sydney to face West Coast. There's Dawes to Anderson, back to Dawes. Two star mids combine. Spears a pass. Campbell goes inboard to Heslop. Kathy Spark. 3 minutes to go in the third here. No goal scored in this third quarter yet. A couple of behinds to Brisbane as Spark pumps it long. This came from Tarrant. Lachlan will get hands to it here. Bella Smith also there for Sydney. Brought to ground and umpire lets it play on. And says I'll have it.
Just been able to get so much more of the footy show since halfway through the first quarter. Brisbane both on the inside and the outside. Anderson sweeps it forward. Mitchell fumbled. Dangerous. Taylor Smith can't convert.
And there's an example of just more composure. There was a rushed kick then when you really didn't need it. They've done all the work. There are players on the ground from the Swans and just having a greater awareness of the situation that they're in and just backing yourself in.
Privatelli went up. Kathy Spark is brought down by Privatelli. Umpire called play on. Conway wraps up Wheeler. And that, is that more a personnel thing? Because we talked about the Brisbane experience compared to a very young Sydney side.
In terms of composure,
yes.
Yeah, but Brisbane is super experienced, and as we've talked about, 15 of their players have played every game this season. Of course, Craig Starcevich loves keeping the team as consistent as possible. But even that forward line structure, Davidson's out today.
Dawes inboard to Davison on the right, and that one sneaks home. Sinead Davison with her first goal in Brisbane Lions colours. She injured her wrist in the opening game in her club debut in round one. Made her return last week against Geelong, and she gets on the board, and this is our Toyota Oh What a Feeling moment. A beautiful finish from Sinead Davidson breaks the drought. A run of 5 consecutive behinds to Brisbane. Davidson delivers as it just sneaks home.
Well, right on cue, Ben, we're talking about composure in the context of the situation, and Davison just had the composure to you see it in the footage, pop her eye up, have a little look, and then she kicks the ball. And so it's those things where you just take a moment to put those little 1%ers or 0.1% in place, and that's how you get composure. And she kicked truly as a result.
Played the 18 games for the Eagles. In her third game for the Lions, has her first goal for the Lions and her second AFLW goal. Cynthia Hamilton tracks it. They are on song, Brisbane, both offensively and defensively. Sophie Spark wanted a free. Oh, how about this? Cynthia Hamilton says, "Come at me, Sophie Conway." It's normally the opposite, other way around. Sophie Conway, normally the one who can be the antagonist on the field. Swans with the ball forward. Great hands from Privatelli to Cynthia Hamilton, who kicks towards half forward. And Dunn against McCarthy. Two former Gaelic stars going at it here, but Dunn wins out. Conway, who's brought down, just able to get a hand pass away, and Cynthia Hamilton tackled her, gets one back on Conway, and Privatelli marks.
Kick it yourself, Priv. Got the wind.
And she's got to play a short. And we know that Bella Smith is a thumping kick from, in fact, it's Montana Ham, rather, who's got the ball, and she is also a thumping kick.
It allows Privatelli to go deep on the goal line, of course. She's taken so many wonderful contested marks in that situation.
33-point lead here for Brisbane just before the three-quarter time siren. Montana Ham. Call to play on, gives it a good ride, has the distance, actually very easily in the end, but was off to the left. It's the Sydney's first score since the early stages of the first quarter.
Kick the first goal of the game, the Swans through Bella Smith. Brisbane responded with the next 5 goals, 9 in the next couple of quarters. Bella Smith a long way from home. As the seconds tick down towards three-quarter time. Just 1 goal scored in the third. to the Brisbane Lions by Shanae Davidson, and they take a 32-point lead into the final break. The Lions searching for another top four finish in the AFLW as we turn for home. Brisbane 5-9, 39 to Sydney 1-1-7. Final quarter coming up next.
One quarter left here at Brighton Homes Arena in Springfield. It's the Brisbane Lions holding a comprehensive lead over the Sydney Swans by 32 points, 5-9 playing 1-1. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Jess Webster and Shiloh Curtis. Shiloh, you are loving the running game of the Lions today, which has been on full display.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. They are an exceptional team when it comes to their running game. They average 29 disposals that come from handball receives. Today they're running at 34%. They also normally average 70 per game. They're at 81 for three-quarter time. We might be on record for maybe 100 for the Brisbane Lions.
It's been very, very obvious on screen as we've seen throughout the day. As we head down to Craig Starcevich, who's with Hannah Davies.
Craig, it's not the first time you've been without Dakota Davidson this season. Are you feeling pretty happy with the forward line and knowing you've got options?
Not too bad. Shannon's had some experience down there before, so it was good to see her, grab that mark in the second quarter. Hopefully she can, it's pretty windy out here, so hopefully she can cash in at the back end of the game as well.
What was the final message to the girls?
We've turned around our work, so pressure's almost equal now, but it was a bit ordinary to start the game. They're not a bad pressure team, the Swans, so to actually counter that, get back on top in terms of controlling the ball and moving it forward, that was really pleasing.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
This is where it's going to be testing in particular for Sydney. They're a young side away from home, week 9 of week 10, so a big quarter for the Swans.
Yeah, absolutely. 10th game of the season, of course, at the back end. Get a little bit fatigued as expansion clubs.
Brisbane by 32 as we get the final quarter underway. Courtney Hodder brought to a halt.
And to that point, you can't underestimate the impact of numerous pre-seasons under your belt.
Yep.
So a young team at Sydney.
Dawes sends Brisbane into attack for the first time in the final quarter over the head of... Now there's Campbell there laying a strong tackle against Collier, and it's going to be a free kick to Brisbane. So Craig Starcevich mentioned it in his interview. Hopefully Shannon Campbell can cash in. Should get an opportunity here as Collier sent to the bench for a blood rule. So a fast start to Brisbane out of the middle.
And again, just a pressure error on a defender in defence that's been under attack all day. Had to work so hard, the Sydney Swans defence against the Premiership Lions forward line.
Shannon Campbell kicked a goal in the second quarter. This to extend the margin to 38 points. And she comes, Campbell. She's a beautiful kick of the footy. This one just fading late. It is a bit windy out there in Springfield this afternoon, but 5 goals 10 now the return for Brisbane. Could be a lot further in front. It could be a lot more damaging on the scoreboard indeed.
Could be getting even more damaging here. Scrappy kick out of defence. Anderson takes the advantage after holding the ball. No, it's going to be coming back to the lines. It was a quick kick from Anderson, so Postlethwaite will be rewarded here. Busy across half forward. I suppose number 11 coming up for Lily Postlethwaite. Leads galore. And she decides to go to congestion. Taylor Smith in front. Thumped away from her Ruby Spark to Hodder to Mullins. Off a standing start, all class, Charlie Mullins.
Well, again, just a work rate goal, just team offence, showing up and ensuring, team forward pressure. It's one of the great things about the Brisbane Lions is it doesn't matter who gets the job done. Someone steps up. They work so well together. Great connection. The mark not taken. The little hand pass give. Hodder's in the right spot. Little hand pass out because Mullins is in the right spot. She had all the time in the world. Just great structure, great method, great connection between the Brisbane forwards. They are a powerhouse.
A local product through the Lions Academy is Charlotte Mullins, one of the Premiership players from last year, 19 years of age, and Brisbane have kicked 6 goals, coming from individual goal kickers this afternoon. Without Dakota Davidson up forward, Hodder, a sweeping hand pass to half forward, a vacant half forward. Sydney gets some numbers back through Gardner. Conway. Anderson. It's going to be a free kick going to Conway, who was held. Brisbane take the advantage. Postlethwaite delivers onto the chest of Campbell. Wants to kick it inboard because Taylor Smith is on. It's called play on, not the required distance. So Smith has to play on. Hooks it around the corner to full forward. Could have completing the mark was Ruby Spark. Is that a free kick? It is going the way of Belle Dawes, who's taken without it. A fan favourite here in this part of the world, and this gives some fans something to cheer about. Belle Dawes can pop this through.
Well, this could get ugly now. Brisbane Lions, they're up on their toes. They're running as hard as they were in the opening quarter. Not fatigued at all.
She brings the energy, does Belle Dawes, to this Brisbane side, slams it home for another. She's so fun to watch, as is this Brisbane Lions side when they're up and going, Charlotte.
Well, I reckon Belle Dawes is probably having the best season we've seen of her in the AFLW, and I think what's really important, she's been able to go forward and finish in front of goal. You want your midfielders, your running players to be able to have an impact on the scoreboard if you can manage it. And her game's gone to another level this year. Maybe her celebrations have gone to another level as well, but the finish was fantastic. And again, another really good team goal, good process, good connection.
So she debuted Belle Dawes in 2020. Today's game number 66. That's 66 consecutive games from Belle Dawes, who's still only 23 years of age.
And one of the signature things of the Brisbane Lions unit is that we know their fitness is extreme and they work super hard on their conditioning, and that probably has allowed them to have a number of players who've been able to string together so many games consecutively. I think Ali Anderson, 89, game number 89 in a row. Hasn't missed one with injury.
Quite remarkable.
And you think about the roles that those players play, the number of kilometres they get under their belt, their GPS numbers. It's not like they're stuck deep in the forward line, not covering territory.
Conway with a free kick and inside 50. Hodder caught behind. Mitchell at ground level kicks it into the middle. Hickey trying to send it back the other way though. Anderson arrives in game number 89 on the trot. Hooks it around the body to the top of the goal square. Mullins is behind. Lots of lines at ground level, including Hodder, who didn't give away the free kick according to the umpire. So Taylor Smith says, thanks, I'll kick another. It's a Lions fiesta in Springfield.
Well, maybe the pressure in the forward line from the Lions might be putting the umpires under a bit of pump there. But you just have to play the whistle, and the Lions certainly did that. Taylor Smith gets another one on the board, took advantage of the situation. The Swans stopped playing. You have to play to the umpire's whistle. Taylor Smith kept going. She's got a goal as well.
Becomes Brisbane's first multiple goal kicker of the afternoon. Taylor Smith with her second goal, kick one in the opening quarter. And in a flash, Brisbane have kicked 3 goals in about 4 minutes to blow this margin out to 51 points. So we've got plenty of time left on the clock. Hickey, the big punch out of the middle to get it going for Brisbane. Kathy Spark out to meet it, gets the handball out. Stepping away as Gardner, gives it to Hurley. And now Lexi Hamilton through the middle of Springfield. Sends Sydney forward. Privatelli, was she held? Yes, she's going to get a free kick. Those numbers stream back inside forward 50 for the Swans. Privatelli wanted to center the kick, but reading it best is Kathy Spark, who can mark and wants to play on. Let's come on, start Privatelli to Hurley, pokes it forward. Hamilton marks just inside forward 50. Goes into the pocket, a lovely kick, and Laughlin's marked.
Shoot inside. Chewy on your boot. It's a win.
There's a bit of build-up here by the Sydney Swans. Really love their composure. They're able to mop up the mess they created a few disposals ago. Now they've been able to get a shot now inside 50.
Laughlin on the approach. It's a low kick off the boot. Maybe he tried to do the team thing, but Mullins was there to pick it off and sends it out wide to Conway.
Never looked confident on the set shot there. Hook Laughlin. Lions will now build from the last line. Linking up by hand again. Anderson to O'Dwyer. Now the kick towards the wing position. Long one-on-one with Steen, and well played by Steen to win it cleanly. Get it to Gardner. Now Whelan. Bumped off it as she kicked. Fumbled by Kennedy. Lots of Lions around here to pounce, including Anderson. And his father was Gardner, who keeps the ball moving. More to go here by Conan. Another intercept mark for the captain. Sees O'Dwyer over her head. Hartall. Brought down here by Shepherd. Looks to have fitted into this Brisbane lineup, Eleanor Hartall, with a bomb. And they've brought in Davison, who looks like she's fitted in. So pretty handy to bring in 2 players of that experience and calibre into this Lions outfit, Charlotte.
And we know that Brisbane, as we've spoken about a number of times today, they don't turn the list over. They're playing list over too often. So a think the fact that, once you get into the team, you have to work super hard to get in there. You've got to have earned your spot, earned the right. You have to work hard every game to keep your spot. But once you're in, and if the team backs you in and they trust you, they'll keep you there.
Hurley to Hamilton, looping hand pass over the top. And a chance for Lachlan coming across Conan, did so beautifully, brought it to ground. And is that going to... No whistle on the play there, the umpire lets it go. McCarthy, a fumble, regathers, bolts, brings it to ground. Heslop kick smothered by McCarthy, still a chance for Sydney. Can they get a shot on goal through Kennedy? It's away to the left for another behind. So after Sydney kicked the opening goal of the game, Brisbane have kept them to just 2 behinds since then. The margin an even 50 points.
Sydney had an outnumber 3-1 in that situation with Conan. Conan still was able to retain the football, not give away the free kick, just wait until the cavalry arrived. Brisbane are now exiting their D50.
Huge kick from Dunn to Campbell, who marks and one of the 50. And Sullivan holding on. Campbell being forced to wait. Not quite the required distance to Heslop, and an excellent follow-up tackle by Lexi Hamilton, who is not rewarded. Swans still push on. Shepherd got the handball away and a long kick towards goal. Might bounce through. Conan gets back and thumps it through for a minor score. It's Sydney's 4th scoring shot of the game.
Well, it was a very clever kick there. Just really put a bit more into it. Tried to get over the back, give Privatelli a chance to run onto it. Did everything right. Just didn't get the right bounce.
Conan and Grata combine in last line of defence. Grata again receives. And that kick didn't hit its target. Dropped off by Lachlan. Centres the kick beautifully to Privatelli.
Good reaction. Work there by Privatelli. Saw the situation, be able to get a lead up. Been a hard day in the office for the forwards of the Swans. They haven't had a lot of opportunity when entries have come inside 50. They've been very, very shallow. Just a 20 forward inside 50s today, minus 14 from the Brisbane Lions.
Beck Privatelli, this for goal number 10 for the season, and she approaches 50 career goals. Kick is on its way, and it's away to the left. So she remains on 46 career goals. Beck Privatelli.
Had to work really hard at the ground to present today. Privatelli, 6 marks for the contest. Into the middle. No free kick paid there. Doors arise and is brought down by Collier. Oh, umpire's going to ping her. So
good tackle. They were able to trap one arm and couldn't get the other ball out of the other one.
Dawes argues her case. Collier in the meantime kicks inside 50. Kennedy stands tall, can't quite grab it cleanly. Kathy Spark pounces, gives it to Dawes, arches the back, able to get a hand pass away to Grata, who waited for Conway, who got the hand pass further afield. Kathy Spark in hard and low, no free kick paid. And then the pounce by Dawes was brilliant. And then Taylor Smith is in position A, dropped the mark, is still tracking the ball, just needs to get boot to ball, does, and missed.
Did everything right there, the Brisbane Lions. Beldors cleaned up her own mess. Second effort, third effort, just the ability to run through and read the Swans' game plan better than their own plays, you'd think, in some respects. Read the situation beautifully.
Heads a wobbly kick from the kick in. Last touch rule. And it's going to be a free kick to Brisbane going to Ruby Spark.
Nothing going the Swans' way today at all. And Brisbane made their own luck just through sheer work rate, pressure at the contest, pressure at the opponent.
Anderson tries to find Smith and gets her in the end.
Clever little lead up, sideways movement.
To really stretch for that one. She brings it into her chest and can line up for potentially her 3rd goal of the afternoon.
An outstanding season, of course. Everyone thought what was going to happen to the forward line of the Lions, of course, with Wardlaw leaving a couple of seasons ago. Well, into Tay Smith.
This will be the 19th goal this season if Taylor Smith can slot it. Runs in board to give herself a better angle and then kicks it across the face. Still a chance at the top of the square, off hands. close to the line, and it'll go out of play for a ball in. Less than 6 minutes to go in this final quarter. Brisbane by 6 at quarter time, 24 at half time, 32 at three-quarter time. And the lead is sitting healthily at 49 points.
Had some big wins, the Lions, this season. Currently leading by 49 points, a nice percentage booster for them. With a round to play in the NAB AFLW. McAvoy went short, went through Grundon's legs, and then Postlewaite applies a fierce tackle there on Shepherd. And intensity in that tackle, personifying her team today, which has been relentless both with and without the footy. Ball at the back, there's 3 lines at the back of the stoppage waiting. Non-controlling umpires paid a free kick, and it's going to be coming back to the Swans. Shepherd will be rewarded. Proppy in the knee in that third quarter, but back out there. Tarrant leading up at the ball, might have been swung forward here. Conan intercepts and kicks forward, and Hodder might have been taken out before the stoppage there. Anderson was also there, as was Taylor Smith, and Smith will be rewarded with the free kick here. Here's a look on replay. Anderson lucky not to hit flush there. Smith just grabbing that right leg. She's okay. Pretty congested forward line, as you can see. So she calls for movement. Good luck moving inside that forward 50, though. Just over the head of Conway. Ball hits the deck. A rushed Swans kick only goes as far as Bolts.
I think there's a player down behind play. So the umpire's just going to take possession here.
Poppy Bolts able to take that intercept mark. So the clock stops with 3 minutes and 59 seconds on the clock. It is Shannon Campbell. Luckily able to get to her feet and wants to stay out there, it looks like.
Played like a true defender. No, if I was in the back line, you would keep me out here, she'd say.
I think the medical team there might have had right away. And a trooper she has been for the Brisbane Lions, and number 84, the dual premiership player. Bolts in the meantime spears it to Smith. Holding free kick is going to be coming back to Taylor Smith. Campbell gets a round of applause as she comes to the bench here at Brighton Homes Arena. 3.5 minutes left in this fourth term. The Lions with the final home and away game against St Kilda at RSCA Park next week. Sydney finish with West Coast. Here's Taylor Smith from directly in front. Perfect. Icing on the cake for the star goal kicker of the Brisbane Lions.
Well, yet another really wonderful team goal, that mid to forward connection of the Lions. They just know each other's game so well, and that was wonderful delivery into Taylor Smith. You couldn't defend that if you tried. They tried the body spoil, gave away the free kick as a result. Taylor Smith's got another one. She's having a day out. Fantastic effort there again by the Lions. 14 disposals for Taylor Smith, 255 metres gained for the 3 goals, 3 inside 50s for her today.
3 goals for Taylor Smith, who closes to within 2 of Ash Maloney, who kicks 6 for the Cats to take the lead in the AFLW's goal-kicking race. Around and 3 minutes, 11 seconds left to decide that trophy. Brisbane now the margin sitting at 55 points, which is the equal 5th highest margin in Brisbane's competition history. They beat Sydney at this venue by 55 last year. Swans work it out of the middle to half forward, knocked away by Heslop, out of play.
And Carlton by 55 earlier in the year as well. They've had some big wins this year. 52 over Collingwood, 47 over the Dogs, 45 over West Coast, 55 over Carlton, the Brisbane Lions.
And interesting, coming off the back of round 1 where they got absolutely slaughtered by the Kangaroos. Everyone thought Brisbane Lions have gone. And there was that conversation in round 1. Well, they've probably closed that conversation down.
From the ball in, Smith smothered by O'Dwyer. Spark Gathers beautifully. Back to O'Dwyer. Got herself in a bit of trouble. Mullins trying to break the McAvoy tackle. Just got the handball away. Close to the line, and now it goes out of play. It's going to be a last touch rule going the way of Sydney in front of the interchange gates. The umpires again come together just to confirm.
Well, Sydney have got 2 minutes to try and get another goal on the board. If they don't, they'll register their third lowest score ever.
As Gardner chips in board.
Short to heads. One of 2 players to play every game since the Swans came into the competition. The other one's Sophia Hurley. Turnover though, and the Lions can pounce. O'Dwyer over the top to Taylor Smith. Sees an open goal square. It gets to the back. Doors, crumbs and goals. She is Dawson. Another goal, Shiloh, for Belle Dawes. And it's a 61-point lead for the Lions.
Well, she's just a fantastic player. You know, we spoke earlier about her work through the middle of the ground, and then what I'm loving today is just her willingness to push forward, find the big sticks. You want your midfielders to be able to finish. You want to have a point of difference. You want to stand up. You got to be able to kick goals, and she loved that. How's that for a celebration? That's just such an innate response to the experience she's just had. She's super happy with what she just did there. You love seeing players in the moment like that. The way her teammates get around her, they love her up at the Lions. Why wouldn't you?
They love her across the competition as well, Shy. Belle Dawes equals a PB of 2 goals in a game, both coming in this final quarter. This is the live ladder. So Brisbane looking for a percentage boost. They came into today on 163%, up to 182 now as they just press for that top 4 spot and keep their top 2 chances alive. It will come down to the final round. Conway sweeping hand pass forward. Hodder out to meet it. Mullins, Kathy Spark pokes it to full forward for Brisbane. Tay Smith, the target. Falls to Hartle, just couldn't find her boot, and Heads sees the safety of the line and rushes it through for a minor.
So inside 50s this quarter, 9-4. Brisbane's have all gone super deep. Sydney just skirted with the top of the 50, haven't gone too deep at all.
5 goals from those 9 inside 50s. They've been able to make it count.
And they've scored on 8 of those 9 occasions. Ben, 5 goals, 3.
Kathy Spark to Conway. And it feels like she's the only player that's really missed out so far of the notable goal kickers for the Brisbane Lions. We know how much of a star Sophie Conway is and how much of a threat she is.
Had a ripping season too, Sophie Conway. It's been so important. Great link-up player. Works super hard on the wing.
Team high, 24 disposals. She has not stopped working today, and she deserves a goal. From 40 out, nails us. How good it is to be a Brisbane Lion tonight. Sophie Conway with her first goal of the game, her 47th in her AFLW career and her 10th of the season. And it's now a 68-point advantage for the reigning premiers.
Oh, with that goal, she became the 8th goal scorer of the Brisbane Lions outfit today. So more than a third of their team has kicked a goal today. Tremendous result. It's just that, you know, we've spoken all day about the teamwork of the Lions, the way they work for each other, with each other. They have each other's back. They link up. If someone's not kicking them, someone else will pop up and kick them for them. They're a wonderful unit. Great to watch. They're going to do some damage come November.
Certainly fixed their accuracy since about the second quarter, Shiloh, as well. It's really evened it up.
Absolutely.
11 goals, 12. Conway getting on the score sheet. So as it currently stands, their 4th biggest margin in AFLW history and 5th highest score. Is their time for one late goal to Sydney as they win it out of the middle. A couple of Lions collide. O'Dwyer sends it into the centre of Springfield. As the seconds tick down towards full time, Brisbane's last home game of 2024 as they look to defend their premiership, and they're back on the winners list in a big way. They take down Sydney by 68 points. Well, the Lions, they started slowly. They conceded the first goal of the game, but held the Swans to just 4 points since then as they slammed on 11 goals, 12 of their own to win out by 68 points. Conway finished with 25 disposals and the final goal of the game to be the leading disposal winner for Brisbane. Ali Anderson also with 23, and the goal kickers, Tay Smith ended up with 3 to keep herself in AFLW goal kicking trophy contention. Belle Dawes as well, final quarter was brilliant with 2 goals as we go down to ground level with Hannah Davies.
Yes, I'm here with Courtney Hodder. Now, Courtney, Brisbane haven't lost consecutive games since 2020. Was there a bit of fire in the belly here tonight after last round?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you lose, you have to, I guess, reevaluate and, you know, where to next. And I think we just wanted to start strong and finish strong coming into our, last round game.
And you certainly did, and something you proved throughout the season, and particularly today, is that you do have the ability to move the magnets around and play positions differently. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good strength. You know, everyone has to learn each position, and, you know, if we're able to mix players around, it's a good strength of ours.
Thanks, Courtney. Enjoy the win.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Hannah and Courtney downstairs. So a big win to Brisbane. Their 4th highest margin in history. Their 5th highest score in AFLW competition. They're back in a big way with 1 round to play by 68 points over Sydney. On behalf of myself, Ben Waterworth, Charlotte Curtis and Hannah Davies at ground level in Brisbane. Thank you for your company as we end AFLW Week 9. It is Brisbane by 68 points over Sydney. Thanks for your company.